Coming up on SBU TV, we'll take a look at the progress of the St. Bonaventure Square and how one Cleveland hospital refuses to employ smokers. Hello and welcome to SBU TV. I'm Tony Jones.
And I'm Shannon Shepard. The rebuilding of the university's roads is not the only construction that'll be going on this summer on St. Bonaventure's campus. Joe Landers and I investigated what's happening at St. Bonaventure Square.
Stakes and land plots are quickly being filled for the St. Bonaventure Square project, which was first announced in 2009. While the land behind me might be snowy and wet right now, it'll be filled with many department stores in the near future as St. Bonaventure Square plans to open in spring 2012. SBU TV was first to find out that the university has reached an agreement with management of the Walden Galleria to bring their stores to Bonaventure Square.
We've exclusively learned St. Bonaventure will be home to a Victoria's Secret and a Kay Jewelers. And much to Sister Margaret's dismay, it looks like a gentleman's club, like this one behind me, is going to be an addition to the Bonaventure Square. There is one land plot still being debated as Macy's and Lord & Taylor continue to outbid each other to be Bonaventure Square's main department store. We were given the chance to speak to Macy's Northeastern Vice President.
Corporate is excited. The town has been more than cooperative along with the university to get us in the door, and we hope that someday Macy's will be an intricate part of that community.
While the debate for the major department store continues, the St. Bonaventure University student body president is sure either store will serve the student body well.
I feel that the student body will be affected greatly by the new Macy's or Lord & Taylor or whatever is coming into the new Bonaventure Square, because it will just broaden the shopping outlets for students, and I think it will really just draw more possible prospects to the St. Bonaventure community.
And the addition of a gentleman's club doesn't come as a shock to the student body.
I think the Gentlemen's Club isn't anything too much to be worried about as women. I think a lot more, there will be something for the guys to do. Instead of going towards just the bars every night, they'll be able to have a different kind of entertainment.
With the increase in contracts, the university has decided against its original decision to relocate the university's bookstore to the Bonaventure Square. It will remain in the Riley Center. Reporting for SBU TV, Shannon Shepard and Joe Landers.
The university plans to officially announce Bonaventure Square's completed list of stores before Easter break. Many parents and students have recently spoken out against standardized tests in education. SBU TV's Christy Andrzejewski found out how students and faculty at St. Bonaventure feel about the tests.
In March, a Pennsylvania mother kept her 11 and 9-year-old children home from school after she decided she did not want them to take the 2-week-long standardized tests given by the state. According to several news reports, Michelle Gray says the reason she wouldn't allow her children to participate in the testing is because she believes the tests are not an accurate measure of accomplishment and create unnecessary stress for students. And Gray's not the only parent that's objecting to state tests. It's happening nationwide through Facebook groups and web pages aimed to help parents learn their rights when it comes to opting their children out of the exams.
Though standardized tests vary from state to state, these tests are a cause of concern all around, even here on the St. Bonaventure campus.
St. Bonaventure visiting professor Heidi Hartley says as a mother, she's seen the amount of stress tests have put on her children.
They get horribly stressed out. My daughter in particular is not a good test taker.
And though her daughter may not excel on tests, that doesn't mean she can't demonstrate her knowledge of the material in other ways.
She can do her homework, she can do the projects, she knows the stuff. She could probably explain it to the teacher very well.
Hartley knows her daughter's struggle with tests is not uncommon among students.
Some people are really good at taking tests and some just do very well practically and hands-on kind of stuff. So,
senior education major Shelly Seeger says one of the problems with the standardized tests is the way the questions are asked.
A lot of the teachers today teach to multiple choice. They give a lot of examples and a lot of extra assistance in order to do good on a multiple choice test, and that's basically what a standardized test is.
She says incorporating different learning styles into the test may make them more effective.
Involving their hands, manipulating objects, and I feel kids, especially the younger ones, learn the best that way, and learning also from their peers. So if that could be included into the state testing, I think a lot of the kids would do a lot better.
Though she has some objections to standardized tests, Hartley says they're still necessary in the classroom.
They can be a useful tool, but I don't think that they should be the only indicator of how a student is doing in school.
For Sbu TV, I'm Christy Andrzejewski.
Despite controversy, educators across the country still teach to the test because of the long-time existence of the federal No Child Left Behind law.
A huff and a puff could cost you your job. Lately, more healthcare agencies have stopped hiring smokers. Sbu TV's Lauren Adams found out what that means for the Olean General Hospital.
Recently, the Cleveland Clinic announced it would no longer employ smokers.
Obviously, as a healthcare organization, they want to be responsible and make themselves appear that their community wellness is not being compromised.
The Cleveland Clinic isn't the first healthcare organization to make this decision. Insurance agencies have been practicing this for years. These companies cite smokers' efficiency as a reason for this decision.
I think that they're distracted because they're addicted, and their addictions may control their sense of urgency when they're looking at the clock to want to know when their breaks are.
Karen Knight, the Director of Human Resources at the Olean General Hospital, says she realizes the irony in a healthcare agency hiring smokers.
It seems like a double standard to promote smoking and be a hospital that cares about the community.
While the Olean General Hospital currently employs people who smoke, the rising cost of healthcare may soon force them to only hire non-smokers.
We're a responsible employer in the community. We take great pride in that, and by not being able to provide a basic need like health insurance, that's not a position we want to put ourselves in.
Knight knows that stopping the hire of smokers is just one small step in the right direction.
Can't take on the world at once, but when we are faced with a situation and we can't deal with that, we're going to do so responsibly.
For Sbu TV, I'm Lauren Adams.
According to an article on WebMD, the number of smokers in the United States has steadily declined over the past 5 years.
Retired New York City firefighter Tom Clark was among the first to respond to the 9/11 tragedy. So when disaster struck in Japan, he strapped on his gear one more time. CNN's John Gilbert has the story.
A New York firefighter doing what he's trained for. But this isn't the Big Apple. It's tsunami-stricken Japan. And 9/11 veteran Tommy Clark has flown here at his own expense to try and make a difference.
Total carnage. That's what brings me here. Haven't been through 9/11 in Haiti. When I see it on TV, it's not an option. It's not like, well, should I go or shouldn't I go? It's like, I'm going, and how am I going to do it?
Okay. Tommy, who's retired on a disability pension, says he spent days struggling to be accepted here.
I had to beg, basically, to help. I slept at the bus station that night, waiting for a cancellation the next morning. And when I showed up at the Red Cross station, they couldn't believe that I had actually made it there.
But now his search and rescue expertise, honed in the rubble of the Twin Towers and the nightmare of Haiti, is proving priceless in a disaster where more than 10,000 people are still missing.
It can be pretty terrifying because you don't know what you're going to find. Anything's a possibility. So, it was nothing. This is my job here.
For some distance inland, the tsunami left little more than matchwood, but behind it, in this eerie hinterland of half-destroyed homes, people are slowly struggling to reassemble their lives.
And it's house after house after house for miles. These poor people.
There's no official figure for the number of unofficial volunteers here in Japan, but though their presence may be unorthodox, it's proving invaluable.
We didn't find any cadavers, but then we didn't find any live people. We're shooting for a miracle. We're not going to give up till the day we leave.
John Gilbert, CNN, Sendai, Northern Japan.
Up next on Sbu TV, we'll take a look at how the St. Bonaventure community contributed to relief in Japan.
Are your kids getting enough art? Where's the music? I don't hear any. Arts programs are being cut, making it hard for my kids and yours. Arts education is important, so it goes. Fight for it, because the less arts kids get, the more it shows. Rapping, painting, or creating music, arts education is key. How's that, Mom?
Remember what I told you, Chuck. Less bebop and more hip-hop.
art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Members of the St. Bonaventure community brought a little Japanese culture to campus in hopes of raising money for relief efforts in Japan.
After the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, Yvonne Mackel, a former resident of Japan, wanted to raise money to aid the people, and she read about a way to do it.
I spotted an article about some students making cranes for Japan, and I said, St. Bonaventure, we can do this.
The on-campus organization Asian Students in Action, or ASIA, also rose to the occasion to help the people of Japan.
We contacted Yvonne and asked her if we could do henna tattoos on campus to help raise money. And she was saying that there was already a project in the works, which were these paper cranes. So we decided to jump on the bandwagon with these paper cranes, as well as continuing our own project with the henna tattoos to help fundraise.
The folded paper crane is a symbol of hope in Japan, and these cranes will serve a special purpose.
They're going to be at a table at the Riley Center and also at the Hickey Dining Hall, and we're going to be asking students and those who are there if they would make a donation. With the donation, they will take with them the crane, again, a symbol for the hope.
100% of all the money raised will go to the Franciscan friars working in Japan.
The friars will be dispersing that money to take care of the needs, and knowing whatever is collected will be helping the people.
Mackel has a number in mind to reach in order to ensure help.
If a person makes 1,000 cranes, it is said that the wish will come true. It would be wonderful if we could make 1,000 cranes and get those donations for the 1,000 cranes.
For Sbu TV, I'm Erin Lowry.
Donations can be made in the Riley Center or Hickey Dining Hall Wednesday, March 30th through Friday, April 8th.
One St. Bonaventure student athlete is another step closer to her goal of becoming a high school math teacher. Tyler Diedrich reports.
On March 18th, the NCAA awarded St. Bonaventure senior Nicole Markert one of its 29 postgraduate scholarships for fall season female athletes.
I actually found out late at like 9 o'clock at night. I got an email from the head of the NCAA scholarship committee, and she just said I won the scholarship, and I was extremely excited and was jumping around my townhouse.
Markert said she will use the $7,500 award to pay for her graduate tuition at the University of Kentucky, where she plans to pursue a master's degree in mathematics and secondary education.
It's a one-year program I'm looking into, and it'll get me my certification for teaching, and I look to teach wherever I can find a job.
Coach Manoj Khetri said Markert's tireless determination has been evident since he recruited her during his first season.
She's never shied away from hard work. The reason that we recruited her to begin with was that she was the kind of young woman that we look for in our program in terms of character, work ethic, academic achievement, and I think most importantly, I think, she's been a fantastic leader.
Even though Markert's playing days are over, she says she still hopes to keep soccer a major part of her life.
I miss it a lot already, I'm done playing in the fall, and I can't wait to start coaching. I'm hoping to get involved with club soccer also while I'm down there at school.
Khetri said he imagines Markert will go on to achieve nothing but success.
I joke about people like Nicole that the things they probably do wrong in their life is they probably sing a little bit too loud in church. She's the kind of person, a great example of how we want our players to leave college. Successful, with a bright future ahead of them, having left a legacy of excellence and achievement in their program, and people with bright futures.
For Sbu TV, I'm Tyler Diedrich.
Markert is the first athlete in school history to receive a postgraduate scholarship.
Cyberbullying, using online media such as Facebook to abuse and frighten, has become all too common among today's teenagers.
What's the meanest thing you've read that maybe hurt you the most?
I hope you cut yourself, and I hope you get an eating disorder so you'll look pretty, and I hope you go cut and die. Through the use of email, text messages, instant messaging, blogging, or social networks, many of us have been witness to it or may have been a victim. Cyberbullying, also known as online bullying, is the spread of information through electronic communications made by an individual or group with the intention to harm others. And who exactly are these cyberbullies?
I think they're people who want to persecute, criticize people, those types of things, and want to sort of think or think that they're going to feel good if they make somebody feel bad.
About 7% of all adolescents in grades 7th through 9th are victims of this type of harassment. With continuous technology advances, cyberbullying enables the cowardly individual to avoid face-to-face contact with their victim. It also provides a way for their spiteful message to be spread everywhere nearly instantly.
I think, with cyberbullying, we got to teach these individuals who are doing it how to have more empathy. What's the impact, when you're looking at that type of behavior? And I think people don't feel that because you don't see what the reaction is to the comment.
The increase in cyberbullying is ahead of our school districts and court systems. They're having a difficult time determining appropriate punishment. One family from Long Island linked cyberbullying to their daughter's death. 17-year-old Alexis Pilkington committed suicide shortly after hateful posts were made on her Formspring, a site that allows users to post anonymous questions or comments on a member's page. An individual may not be able to entirely avoid being cyberbullied, but efforts can be made to help protect oneself.
There's lots of different ways of looking at it. Why are you going on somebody's blog? Why are you going on somebody's Facebook and reading what they're saying about you or whatever? Why are you allowing somebody to be on your Facebook page? You can block people, block them from texting.
Some school and law enforcement officials say the problem is only going to get worse. For Sbu TV, I'm Brittany Whalley.
For more tips on staying cyber safe, log on to www.ncpc.org. The Bona shootout took place Wednesday, March 30th at 7 p.m. in the Richter Center. Meg Sudore has the story.
3 pairs experienced that winning feeling after a night of tough competition.
It feels great. It feels like we won the state championship. It feels great.
It feels great. It feels good. Really good. Yeah, we're excited.
There were 3 divisions, 1 all-male, 1 all-female, and 1 co-ed, with each division having around 40 participants.
And in a competition where you're timed based on 30 seconds of shooting, anything can happen.
But what exactly is the Bona shootout?
It's a competition where you have 2 people on a team and they rotate, taking turns for 30 seconds shooting from different spots on the floor. Each spot has a different point value, and you can't shoot from the same spot, and then you combine the scores and then you move up in the rounds to see who wins.
At this year's Bona shootout, something unique happens in the co-ed division.
The winners are, we have a tie.
It was a little bit nerve-wracking, but we knew that we could count on each other to really pull through.
Even those who didn't win were glad they participated.
It's definitely worth it. It was fun, and there's a lot of good shooters out there, so it's fun to watch.
Both the male and female divisions won iPods, and the co-ed division won flat-screen TVs. For Sbu TV, I'm Megan Sudore.
Everyone who participated was entered into a drawing for a prize as well.
Coming up in sports, the women's basketball team's season in review, and the baseball team begins Atlantic 10 conference play.
I'm Paul Whelan, and I teach at St. Bonaventure School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
The faculty here are more than just good teachers. They're mentors. From day one, the community really welcomed me.
St. Bonaventure's focus is to turn out ethical journalists, and if they're ethical, all the other things follow.
The best story that I'd done was one that had a lot of drive and passion behind it. I told myself I could do it, and with the help of my peers and my teachers, I did it. I'm becoming extraordinary at St. Bonaventure.
As seen last week on Sbu TV, the women's basketball team lost 63-50 to Syracuse to finish the year with a 21-12 record. I caught up with Coach Jim Crowley to reflect on 2010 and look ahead to next season. The women's basketball team ensured its 3rd straight 20-win season with a 77-43 victory over Lehigh in the first round of the Women's National Invitation Tournament March 17th. 2010-2011 was also the 3rd straight WNIT bid for a program who had never made a postseason tournament prior to 2008. Head coach Jim Crowley believes his team rose to the occasion this past year following the graduation of Dana Mitchell, the program's 2nd all-time leading scorer.
I think once we kind of settled into what we were capable of, the kids started to believe and understand their roles and really came together very, very well.
Forward Megan Van Tatenhove emerged as the team's leading scorer, averaging 14.5 points per game. Where she really made her mark was in Atlantic 10 conference play, averaging more than 16 points per game.
She had a great stretch at the start of A-10 play. I mean, scored 35 against Dayton, had just a string of games where she was virtually unstoppable. Then teams adjusted to her a little bit, and she also injured herself, her elbow, but still played some great games and really gave us a score.
Guard Jessica Jenkins had the hot hand from three-point range all season, and her 100 field goals from beyond the arc set a program single-season record.
What's happened with Jess is she came as just kind of spot up, hit some shots here and there, and then she got even better as a sophomore and developed a little more, and then this year she got better coming off screen. She got better where she used her dribble a little bit, so each year she's gotten a little better.
Returning players Chelsea Boker, Elena Walker, and Jenny Ashton each saw an increase in minutes over last season and provided a spark to the Bonnies' attack.
Chelsea was a starter and played great in that role, and then was struggling, and we moved her coming off the bench, and I think it was 8 games she came off the bench. She was in double figures, 7 of them, and 9 in the other one. With Elena, she grew into a better free throw shooter. She grew into a better finisher, and she's a kid who had a positive assist-to-turnover ratio as our lead guard, which is something we haven't had in a number of years. Jenny was a real surprise. For 2 years, she had just kind of been buried on the bench and understood what she needed to try and do better.
Freshmen are not often asked to play a central role, but Crowley said CeCe Dixon and Doris Ortega went above and beyond general expectations for incoming players.
They're both kids who could really, really be impact players for us, but they've got to spend the time. Doris does everything okay right now. She needs to be able to do everything better. And CeCe's speed and her ability certainly can disrupt, her defensive ability can disrupt things. But she's a capable shooter. She's a capable kid who can put the ball in the basket a little more, and we need that from him.
Crowley knows that many expect his program to reach a 4th consecutive postseason in 2011-2012. But maintains that he and his players are not fazed by the heightened pressure.
That's what our goal will be, to be the best possible us we can, and our kids understand that, and we'll have some bumps in the road as every team does, and then it's how we recover from them, which is something this group has done for 3 years and understands how to do, and we'll be called upon to do when we get into the year next year.
The Bonnies lose seniors Kara Gustafson and Amanda Johnson to graduation, but will return 5 starters in 2011.
Anterior cruciate ligament, or ACL as it's known, is located in your knee and is 5 times more likely to tear in a female athlete than a male. Sbu TV's Leah Murphy has the story.
It's likely that you know a female athlete who has torn her ACL and has suffered through many months of sitting on the sideline and going through therapy. St. Bonaventure sophomore Kelly Burke has played soccer all her life and began at Bonaventure. But now she's an undergraduate assistant coach because she has had 4 knee surgeries, including an ACL.
I was taking a free kick on turf, and it was raining, and my left leg just got caught in the turf after I kicked it, and my whole body turned, and my knee went kind of the other way.
ACL surgery is painful, and the full recovery takes 6 months to a year.
First it was really hard just because you're in so much pain and you know that it's hurt, but you feel like doing the therapy is going to hurt it more. It helps a lot because the biggest thing is strengthening muscles in your quad and your hamstring.
1 in 50 women tear their ACL in high school, while in college it's 1 in every 10 women.
Hormone differences in females will make their ligaments, tendons, a little more lax than males.
St. Bonaventure strength and condition coach Darren Fisk says they see 1 to 2 ACL tears a year, but there are ways to prevent it.
We do what we call prehabilitation, where we work on things balancing the quads and the hamstrings to make them less susceptible to injury. Also, other things that we do is actually teach female athletes how to jump and land.
For Sbu TV, I'm Leah Murphy.
The ACL tear will not heal without surgery, but once you have the injury, it is not likely to reoccur.
The St. Bonaventure baseball team suffered its worst loss of the season Tuesday, falling to Canisius 20-3. Sbu TV's Kevin Clark sat down with head coach Larry Sudbrook before they begin conference play.
After a 2-game sweep of Niagara on March 15th, the Bonnies have limped to a 1-5 record since then, literally.
We had a hamstring, a knee, and an elbow problem,
and lost those two of the top 3 pitchers and the top hitter.
Despite being outscored by 44 runs in the last 6 games, Sudbrook is not concerned with his team's offense.
We're not swinging the bats badly. That's not really the problem right now. Defensively, we played horrible, and we're struggling with the pitching.
This weekend, St. Bonaventure heads to Richmond for their first Atlantic 10 series of the season with a 6-11 record.
We've got to get a little bit of confidence back. I mean, I think when those 3 guys went down and we've played poorly in our last 4 games since then, you got to get a little confidence back, and there's no way to get confidence back in sports other than produce and win. Somebody's got to make a play, make a big pitch.
The first 2 series for the Bonnies are away from Fred Handler Park, which could be challenging.
The key on the road is always at least getting 1. Don't get in those things where you get swept, because if you get swept, somewhere when you get back home, you've got to sweep somebody to get back in the hunt.
With a bulk of their schedule remaining, Sudbrook is still optimistic.
We've still got 2/3 of the season to go, so I'm certainly disappointed with where we're at. I don't think it's over.
For Sbu TV, I'm Kevin Clark.
The Bonnies' first home A10 series begins April 15th against LaSalle. That's all this week for SBU TV. I'm Tony Jones.
And I'm Shannon Shepard. And by the way, today is April 1st, in case you wondered about our opening story. Sorry, Victoria's Secret, you won't be a part of Bonaventure Square. For the rest of us here in the Coop Lab, thanks for watching.